Let's jump to the war here, and today we've got a saving a disaster situation playing as Clan Mulder, going up against the war host of the Apocalypse, where Archaon has besieged Fort Ostrosk. This army is stuck inside the settlement, and Archaon is not launching the attack here, we're sallying out. But the auto-resolve result doesn't look very good. What's the difficulty on all this? So it's all on maximum difficulty. And let's read out the email, get a bit of context of the situation. It says, "Hey Legend, cannot win against 2 stacks of Archaon and another Lord. Would really appreciate your help with this. Tried this battle many times, they still come out on top in the end. Campaign is not on the verge of defeat, but I don't think I'll be able to stop Archaon if he wins this battle." Okay, so let's look into this. Alright, let's just back off for a moment and have a look at the overarching campaign situation here. Because when it comes to Skaven, this is where a lot of people get Skaven wrong, is that if you want to do well at Skaven, you win strategically so that tactically you don't even have to do anything, right? So, let's have a look. So this guy's stuck inside the settlement. Their army over here is in reinforcement range. This one, and it's on force march. This one here is completely out of movement, and this one here's got a little bit of movement. Okay, so if we ambush this army here, what's your ambush success chance? 75% base. So 100% chance against this one because it's got minus 25% there. If we were to ambush this one, this army and the garrison doesn't show up. But Archaon doesn't show up. And Archaon's army is the real deal. This one here is just, it's got a couple of good units, but for the most part, pretty bad. It's also not going to perform that well in auto-resolve because it's on force march. Also, Archaon tends to get a pretty hefty auto-resolve boost. So that won't be applied if we ambush him. Also, even though this army here isn't within reinforcement range when we select this, when you ambush, you actually increase your reinforcement range in the general area. So I reckon this army here might still actually be able to show up. Yeah, I can't get it any closer. So let's just see. I mean, splitting this up into 2 battles would be much better than one big one, especially because this is a massive disadvantage you're at here. It would not be likely that you would win that, because you've got 4 armies here, and they've got 2. If you control large armies, then you can only bring 2 armies to bear against their entire force. And their entire forces was calculated being stronger than all 4 of your armies. And so you would lose the initial engagement, have the reinforcements come in, and then they would just subsequently lose as well, because Archaon would be very difficult to deal with. What you've got here is just not good at dealing with Archaon, because there's just so many monsters in here, and you're not really going with anti-large in the situation here, and a lot of anti-infantry with cellular instability. So by splitting this up into 2 smaller battles, I think that would be better. So let's firstly take this one out. Okay, well, there we go. Makes no sense, I guess, to fight this one manually. Just see ya. Okay. Now, like I said, that was like half of the enemy forces. Nice. Half the enemy forces, but not half of the quality. But we used garbage to take it out. So, well, we actually got some good units there. Alright, let's go with, I mean, 2% replenishment's not very good, so we'll go with the money. Plus, it won't heal the units that actually matter. It'll just heal a bunch of Skaven slaves, so fuck that. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, but now we got 4 armies versus 1. Okay. I guess another thing that we could have done in the other situation is put 2 of the armies, maybe these ones here, under AI control. However, the AI is just really bad when you put them under AI control. Alright, so now, if we were to sally out here again, I have a suspicion that Archaon will actually back off from this fight, because the odds are currently not really as well in his favor as he may have originally thought. Now, if he does back off, then it's likely that the garrison here at Fort Ostrosk won't be able to support. So instead of having 4 armies, we then have 3. Except it's more like 2, because this one here can't move. This one here has got enough movement that it should be able to catch up. So we would go down to having from being a 4 versus 2 to being a 2 versus 1, but the situation is still not ideal. However, if we instead attack with this one again, there's no chance of ambushing Archaon, because Archaon, well, anyone that is besieging a settlement gets an ambush defense chance plus 100%. Now that doesn't mean you can't ambush them, but in order to do so, you would have to have a bare minimum of 101% chance of ambushing them, because it's all just additive and subtractive, and that would just give you a 1% chance of ambushing him. So in order to guarantee an ambush against Archaon there, you would actually need 200% ambush success chance, which we definitely don't have because it won't tell you above 100%, but if you just calculate all the bloody bonuses you can... Like, Snitch could maybe ambush him, but we don't have Snitch here. So, this wouldn't be an ambush, but he still might back off. All 4 armies would show up. Yeah, I thought he'd back off. Now, he's already suffered essentially a defeat. He can't run away again. Now, because the zone of control of Fort Ostrosk is not too far away from him, like it would have been further away if he ran over this way. Also, this one here, yeah, you only had 19 this army. Let's attach this guy into the army. Alright, so this guy, yeah, he probably won't reinforce. This one here, let's force march that one in, because I don't think it'll reinforce from that position. So you come to here, and then this guy, got plenty of movement. We've got 85% ambush success chance there. More like, actually, it depends on the tile that we're standing on, which would be, yeah, 80%. So, 20% chance of failure. That's not that big of a deal. This one here could be attached as well. But you've already got a full stack there, so I'm not entirely sure what you're doing. Are these placeholder units? I don't know. Okay, so if we ambush him... Okay, if it's a regular fight, it'll just be these 2 armies here. But if we ambush him, I think the garrison will show up as well. And obviously it'd be good to use the garrison. So we've got some Chaos Warriors in there. Where are they coming from? So they're coming from the Ecstatic Legion. Cool. Yeah, so having 3 armies versus 1, we've improved the strategic situation. Like I said before, the way that you win as Skaven is that you rig the deck. In any situation, the AI doesn't realize how badly they can get fucked up by Skaven most of the time. So you rig the deck, so you basically can't lose. Now, we're not really in that situation just yet, but, you know, it's way better now. Just by making a few adjustments. Okay. Ambush him, I mean, the chances of him defending against an ambush was very low. So, we have 3 armies here. The garrison shows up. Because, like I said, when you ambush, not only does their auto-resolve chances get reduced, but also your reinforcement range. So, armies that were just out of range before can suddenly show up. Now, this has to be fought manually. Obviously, we can't auto-resolve this unless I lower the battle difficulty, which I'm not going to do. So, this seems a bit more of a situation. However, there is also something that might happen. I'm not sure if it will, but let's get into the battlefield here and I'll explain it, because it'd be better to have with visuals. Okay. Now, we've only got 1 army here to begin with, and rushing in on them is not a good idea, because they've just got a lot of really strong units in here, right? With what we've got here, this is just not a great army for dealing with Archaons, and it'll take... I should have put one of these armies under AI control in hindsight. It'll take 2 minutes for them to show up. Let me just get some setups going. Probably going to micro them the most. And hide our guys over here, because they won't get activated until we reveal ourselves. So if we hide, we buy time for our reinforcements to show up. These ones can hide in the forest, but these ones here can't. And they've got a flying unit, so terrain will be a little bit harder to... Oh, there's a pretty big hill over here. If I just hide them in there, they should be hidden. Yeah, that should be fine. And they'll just buy some time. Now, the next thing... Okay, now this might happen. It also might not. But typically speaking, if you rig the deck hard enough, this will happen. Which, again, we'll find out in a moment. It's possible that Archaon will look at this situation and go, I can't win this battle, or I'm likely not to win this battle. The AI is programmed to basically not defend themselves in an ambush if the odds are not, like, really well in their favor. So what they might do is actually just run off the battlefield. Now, the game is playing chaos music, so technically the balance of power is actually in his favor. Can't actually see because it's legendary difficulty. But he might take our reinforcements into consideration. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take both of these armies and make them take longer to show up. And let's just see what Archaon does firstly. Because if we don't do anything... Yeah, let's just see what he does. Alright. Let's just observe him. Because playing as Skaven, don't be brave. You don't need to be brave. Doesn't pay to be brave playing as Skaven. Let's just see what he does. Because sometimes what you can do to the enemy is just like lay some rope in front of their feet and they will tie a noose around their own neck and just, you don't have to do anything. But Andrew, that's not honorable. If you're playing Skaven, you don't care. Alright, so let's just see how this plays out. Because, yeah, I actually don't want my reinforcements to come in. Because as soon as they come in, they give away the game. They show our location. So let's just see. What's he doing? We're observing behavior. And he's still heading towards here. He's not taking a defensive position. How much longer has this got? 3 minutes. Oh, is he going to leave? Here's the thing. Even if the AI is on force march, they don't realize that that if they retreat off the battlefield, that they get wiped out. Okay, on first off the battlefield. Alright. Okay, okay. Well, cool. Alright, we'll bring in our reinforcements now. Cool. Might as well. Yep, we got some of this as well. Yeah, and they're still just running off the battlefield. Yeah, if this one can stick around here for a little bit, because when the army losses triggers, which will be any moment now, that one will actually decay, which would be funny. And that way we actually get the experience and loot money from killing it. Can't pop the warp bomb down until they've taken a certain amount of damage. These guys have decided to bravely stand and fight, so we can just get some free damage in here. Legit, this wasn't even really a battle. Like I said, you don't have to win tactically with Skaven. You win strategically, and like I said, you just go to the AI, be like, here's some rope, you know, go fuck yourself, basically. That's how you play Skaven. This is why when I play Skaven, I really try to make sure I get the ambush success traits, because, like, in Warhammer 2, right, when you ambush the enemy, they would usually just sit there and wait for you to kill them. But in Warhammer 3, they actively withdraw from the battlefield as soon as they can, as long as the battle bounce power is in your favor, to some degree. So you do always have to make sure that you're not, like, walking around with, like, one rat armies. That isn't going to work. Like, if we had only ambushed with just one army, they definitely would have stood and fought. I'm pretty sure. And then you just, like, be like, nah, just, you know, sort yourself out, dude. It's like, I didn't have to do anything here. Losses 0. And we inflicted the perfect number of casualties on them, 13. And then we'll take... let's see. I'll take the money. Yeah, that's... Okay, we get very little experience because we didn't kill that much here. But the amount of, like, sell-off captives, that's based on just how big the army was in the first place. So, yeah, you can just grab that. And then... Oh, it's gone. It's just... That's it. That's the end of this Chaos Invasion here. God damn. Like I said, winning strategically as the Skaven is so much better than winning tactically. Anyway, this is a 13-minute video. Perfect, I'm ending it now. Later, guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate you. See you next time. Later, guys.